Hi everybody, Marco Carbajo here from businesscreditblogger.com. Today's blog post, we're going to talk about personal credit and business credit. We're going to talk about the 4 stages of credit ability. The potential you have to obtain credit based on your personal credit worthiness as well as your business's credit worthiness. So you probably heard the term thin credit file or no credit. If you personally have no credit at this time, or you're trying to rebuild your credit after going through, let's say, some derogatories on your credit, you're going through credit repair, what are the things you need to do to start building up from a thin credit file? Well, obviously, the easiest way is getting a couple of secured credit cards, whether it's through Capital One, Open Sky. There's some really good secured credit cards out there. Those, obviously, you're pledging a deposit to start your credit line. Use that credit for some time. Keep your balances low. The other thing to help you start building up a thin credit file is add yourself as an authorized user. Authorized user accounts are a great way for you to inherit good positive payment history by a family member, spouse, or friend who has a good payment history on a credit card. They'll add you as an authorized user. That doesn't mean you're a joint account holder. It means that you're an authorized user, and actually their credit history from that account will report on your personal credit. So that's another great strategy to start building up some history and help boost up and create a credit score for you. As you know, FICO, it may take them up to 6 months to generate a score for you if you're starting with no credit at all. You have to have some payment history, have some payment experiences reporting. So you want to seek to have at least 3 to 4 active accounts reporting if you have a thin credit file. Okay, so as a business though, what happens when you have no credit file or a thin credit file as a business? Obviously your company has no credit identity at that point. So what you need to do is start out with what we call as starter vendors. Starter vendors are one of the easiest ways for you to get credit as a business. That requires no personal credit check. You'll get net 30 accounts, etc. But keep in mind, another way for you to kind of turbocharge the business credit building process if your company has no credit whatsoever, if you have good personal credit, is to leverage it by getting some business credit lines. So be sure to check out our post on the best business credit building hacks that gives you a little insight on how to do that, how to really speed up the process of building your company's credit from no credit to a credit-worthy file. Now, also, you probably heard the term fair credit. Now, fair credit, that's a different category because now you actually have a credit score. It may not be the best credit score. Usually you're at like the 650 range or 660 range. So you not necessarily have good credit, but you have fair credit. You have some credit established. You might have some derogatories on your personal credit, maybe some late payments that are bringing your score down, or maybe your credit utilization is pretty high on some revolving credit cards. So one of the things you want to do if you have fair credit, how do you boost that up to get to the good credit rating? Well, you want to keep your utilization low on your revolving credit card accounts. Try to keep them under 50%. Ideally, 30% or lower is best. If you haven't added an authorized user account or become an authorized user, that's another strategy for you to help improve your credit history. What you want to be careful, though, when you become an authorized user, is don't have the authorized user account be the strongest account reporting on your personal credit, because this actually can hurt you. So for example, if you have, let's say, 3 credit cards and your highest credit limit is, let's say, $5,000, and then you become an authorized user on a family member that has, let's say, a $20,000 credit limit reporting on your file. Obviously that will help with your payment history, it'll help with your score. But when you're trying to get things like a business line of credit, etc., underwriters catch that. They look at your reports. They don't just look at your scores. So they'll see that you're not the primary account holder on the largest credit line you have reporting on your personal credit. So you want to be careful that the authorized user account that you add is not the strongest or overwhelmingly strong compared to your other primary accounts that you personally have. So just be cautious about that. So if you have the fair credit, work on adding maybe another unsecured credit card, as well as authorized user accounts, keep your utilization low, etc. From a business standpoint, though, what happens when you have a couple of net accounts reporting on your business credit reports? And let's say you have 3 to 4 payment experiences. You have now an 80 paid X score, let's say. that's considered fair credit in the business world. Okay, so at that point, what can you do to start building up your business credit if you have fair credit as a business? Is to start also getting a couple more vendor accounts, but also start acquiring retail credit accounts like your Home Depots, your Best Buys, your Lowe's. These are going to allow your business to elevate its credit worthiness from starter accounts to now more major retail accounts. Now, we outline this for you in our business credit building system, how to do it properly. You don't want to do it the wrong way because you'll get declined. So be sure to check out businesscreditbuildingsystem.com for our step-by-step platform that shows you how to do that. But also, if you use the hack strategy by adding some business credit cards, you can really speed up the process of building a credit-worthy business file. The other thing is, when you go from having fair credit, now let's talk about good credit, good personal credit, good business credit. Good personal credit is like when you're in the 680 or higher range. 680 to, I would say, like maybe 639 or 739. That's considered good credit. As if that's your score range, that's good. That means you can start getting some more selective with credit cards. You can get some more cashback cards, 0% offers. You also have the ability at that point is to leverage your good personal credit for your business, because then you can start getting some lines of credit in the business's name, and these are like business credit cards, etc. So that's when you're in a new category. You can get maybe competitive loan offers, traditional bank lines of credit personally. And these are lines of credit at the bank. You can also acquire that in that score range, so that's good. But the one thing I want you to understand, though, is don't be so heavily focused on the score, thinking that if you have a 680 score, you can pretty much get everything. It doesn't work that way, because if you have too high a debt on your credit, or if you have excessive inquiries or too many recently opened accounts, you can get declined credit, or you can get declined funding with those other factors. So one thing I want you to know that's very important is don't get so wrapped on the score as the only factor, because it's not. Lenders, banks, they look at your report. They look at the overall types of credit you're using, new credit, inquiries, utilization, etc. Now, as a business, when you have good credit as a business, that's considered maybe having 8 to 10 trade references reporting on your business credit report. This is now when you have a diversity of credit. You have starter vendors. You may have maybe some $10,000 trade lines on your business credit reports. This is where it gets exciting for you as a business. And one thing I want you to understand is you got to have payment history too. So at least a year's worth of payment history. You have 8 to 10 trade references with some high credit limits reporting. Now you can start applying for what you hear all the time is some no PG business credit cards. There are a handful of them. You're not going to get super high credit limits with the no PG cards. You may get a $5,000 credit limit. But that allows you now to start having the credit worthiness that your business can start standing more on its own. And you can get more retail credit accounts, etc. So that's really exciting for a business when you get into the good personal credit for both personal and business. Now, the last creditability stage is what I call the strong phase. This is where it gets really exciting for you individually as well as for a business. What is considered strong personal credit is when you're in the 740 or higher FICO score range. When you're in the 740s or higher, you're going to be able to get the best rates, the best terms. You can be very selective with the types of funding vehicles you choose as an individual. You get excellent rates on your mortgages, car loans, etc. From a business standpoint, though, when you have strong business credit, it gets really exciting because you could do so much more. This is when you could start actually getting vehicles in the company's name. Less of your credit is going to even play a factor with a lot of different lenders, because now your company has, let's say, 15 payment experiences reporting, let's say 2 years of credit history on your business reports, very high credit limits reporting, all different types of credit like revolving, installment credit, vendor credit, etc., all reporting on your business credit file. So that's what I consider, at least some of the things you want to look for in a strong business credit file. One of the things I think it's really important, I want you to walk away from this video, is to understand that both personal credit and business credit play an essential role, not only in your personal life, of course, for your personal, but also your business life as a business. So if you have bad personal credit and you're looking to build business credit, also focus on repairing and rebuilding your personal, because it's just going to allow you to have much more funding opportunities It's going to allow you to get the best rates for personal things as well, like your personal auto, or if you need to purchase a home, or even you have to rent, or even employment purposes. So personal credit and business credit play an important role, so don't discount one over the other. So with that, I hope you enjoyed this blog post. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel below. Check out our blog at businesscreditblogger.com, and be sure to subscribe to our newsletter. With that, make it a great day. We'll talk to you real soon.